Hey everyone at the Broadway Lodge reunion 2019. My name's Simon and I'm an alcoholic. Um, 2 years ago, Marcus asked me if I would come along and to this one in particular and speak. And foolishly, I made a promise too far ahead and well, God, my higher power, whatever I can do to devoid myself of responsibility, it's their fault, it's his fault. It's her fault. No, but plans took me another way. I had a trip home. I should mention I'm in Australia, really, shouldn't I? I'm in Australia, on the other side of the world from where you all are. And yeah, I couldn't make it, and it was really disappointing to not be there because I've been to two reunions. One as, on both sides of the fence, one as a, God, I was going to say inmate then. One as a patient at Broadway Lodge and one the year after. My memories of the reunion is it's an incredibly special day to be in the atmosphere of recovery and be surrounded by other people, and that is something that we get in the fellowship, but to be able to share that atmosphere in the very special and sacred grounds of Broadway Lodge, surrounded by almost guardian angels of the counselors, is I have very special memories of being there. And my experience, I went to Broadway Lodge 3 years ago in 2016. Just like all of us, I was fucked. It's a really long story. Like all of us, we have a long and painful story. But like most people who get into recovery, thanks to Broadway, it changed. The moment I walked through the door, I entered an environment of healing, and thanks to my time in Broadway Lodge, thanks to Marcus, thanks to Rona and Alan and my counsellor Jill, and there's too many to mention really, and the people I went through Broadway with, I am now 3.5 years sober, and more importantly, I don't think about alcohol. I don't really think about being an alcoholic. I have strong practices that keep me honest, stop me getting too far ahead of myself, like planning 2 years ahead to be somewhere. Yeah. I went back to school as a school teacher a year after leaving Broadway. It was a risk to go back to Australia, away from where I'd had my recovery set up. But I felt in my heart I needed to be in the country where where my addict had run riot. And it's 2 years on now. I've managed to go back and do the same job I did as an addict and do it honestly. I've completed my amends step, which took a long time and honestly was one of the toughest experiences I've had in recovery, or actually at all, is that amends step. But it was extraordinarily important to take responsibility for my disease, and I found along the way on the amends step, it became less about saying sorry, even though that was absolutely what I said, and it became about saying thank you. And that's something that I've been practicing recently, is instead of saying sorry, saying thank you. And as a small example, you might bump into someone, sorry for being late becomes thank you for waiting for me. I realized as I looked back on my years in addiction that I was held by people who absorbed the consequences of my disease in such a way that enabled me to continue living and survive. And I didn't realize that that's all I really could do during that time, to have survived. And when you look around the room today, the marquee or wherever you are, I think that the thing that comes to me when I'm in recovery environments is I'm surrounded by survivors, and survivors of of a disease which, you know, I look back on the person I was while I had alcohol in my system, and Jekyll and Hyde, to have survived living most of my life being someone that I'm not, to have survived the consequences of dishonesty, to have survived the grief of seeing people that I love who are also addicts die, is a really great achievement from all of us. And so I'm disappointed to not be able to be there today, because any time that I get to be in the presence of strong people who know what it is to be alive and to struggle is a great experience. My favourite people are addicts. My best friends are addicts. The people I seek advice from are addicts. If I need to think very honestly about something, then I am very much aware that I am an addict. It's a blessing and a curse to have this label, and with the label, the set of behaviours and the risks that are attached to it. I can't have a drink again, but just because I don't have a drink doesn't mean I'm not an addict. Put me anywhere near peanut butter and my addict is unleashed. I just want to say a huge thank you to Marcus and to everyone at Broadway Lodge. I am the other side of the world, and I feel like if I was in England I would be a lot more present with the people who I owe my recovery to. There were times in Broadway where I was allowed to be exactly what I needed to be, which was an angry bastard, actually. It's funny, when you're in Broadway, you can cause someone, you can let your angry emotions out, and you're rewarded for being honest and accessing emotions, where you can't really do that in the real world. So to have had 3 months in a safe environment where I could go into those places where I wasn't allowed to be as a child, or that my addiction stopped me being able to be, was a real blessing. I wouldn't be able to be the person I am without my time at Broadway Lodge. I wish all of you a safe and beautiful year between now and next reunion. I remember my friends who haven't made it. Gareth, Chef, just a beautiful guy. And I know all of you have lost people. And for me, it's, you know, I've lost my mum in recovery to heroin addiction. And grief for the people that we've lost, it inspires me to keep going, to be the best version of myself that I can be. Because any day it's even slightly easy for me, I have an opportunity to do something really special, pick up the phone and ring a friend, be creative, do good work in the world, be honest. And so to be alive, to be in recovery is a fantastic thing. I'm incredibly grateful. And I wish you all the best. Thanks for listening to my little video. Please give each other a hug from me. If I was there, I would be bathing in the atmosphere of recovery on the incredibly sacred land that is Broadway Lodge. It is a holy, sacred place. For me, what my higher power represents is love. And if there is a higher power that put a building on the earth for all of us, then it surely built Broadway Lodge. Some people don't make it, and maybe that's not their karma. But yeah, I'm disappointed to not be there with you all today. Lots of love from Australia. I would have made this video outside in the night, but it's pissing down with rain. It's a beautiful day when the rain, with beautiful weather at the moment, apart from when I want to make a video. Much love from Australia. Goodbye.